Hello again, everyone. It's Neil, and you're listening to the Big Bad Movie Show, another commentary. And this week we're doing The Room, which I said that we weren't going to do, but these two were like, somebody's chicken, cheap, 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 cheap. And I had to give in because I heard that Linkara was doing yet another movie, and it almost begs that we have to do this. Also because the James Franco movie is coming out as we're recording this.
Yes, the Disaster
Yeah,
Artist.
which is based on a book, which is really funny. In fact, I binged into it over the weekend. I listened to the audiobook version of it, which is hysterical. So let's just get this started. Ben, if you want to go ahead and do the countdown. And
Certainly, certainly. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. It's been 3 years since I've seen The Room.
and
Let's see if it holds up. All right. Three, two, one, go.
and by the way, joining me tonight are Ben of Ben Comic Graphics and MajesticKnightComic.com, and our cohort Redding. Thank you for joining me, gentlemen.
A White Still Films production.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this music sounds
Little porny.
a little porny and kind of psychotic, like really
I love the fact
agitated and
that
psychotic.
I love the fact that it starts showing the Golden Gate Bridge, one of the largest, most well-known public suicide sites in the world.
Alcatraz.
Greg Sestero, the author of The Disaster Artist.
Yes.
Look at that smog.
Now, I do have to say that the cameras and the lighting and the shooting of this movie actually is competent.
Competent, but not that competent. We'll get into that. Just what a disaster this movie truly was.
But what I'm saying is, it's like Tommy Wiseau actually hired like Key Grips and Best Boys and shit like that. He didn't just go, hey, let's just get a camera and do this guerrilla style. He was like, he hired people.
Yeah, and they quit just as quickly. Well, but what he did was he had two different cameras rolling on the film at one time. He had a high definition camera and a 35 millimeter camera, and he had them mounted side by side on some sort of custom rig, and no one could figure out why the hell he did that. Because it had
So he can look at the footage and make a decision.
he basically what it amounts to is there's a 35 millimeter version of this film that no one will ever see. Because he shot with two different cameras and he only used one. No, you're trying to compliment this guy, Ben, and this is not a good movie.
No, it's not a good movie.
And it's not
But-
done very well at all.
I'd like to say it was done on the first take, but clearly from the audiobook, it's not.
No. No, actually, this movie suffers for what he did with the cameras because he had two different cameras rolling. He had to have two different teams to know how to even get the cameras working, and each camera needed to be lit differently. So basically, he has this really shitty lighting on this film that doesn't complement either version of what he shot. Like, look at this kid. He's like in the dark. This is like Linkara's movie already.
Rather lit than Linkara's movie. Let's hold back the punches a little bit, Neil.
No, this is a terribly produced movie, Ben.
Okay.
No, this is like 90s Cinemax.
So one thing Red keeps on pointing out that he says nobody points out is the dubbing.
Oh, the you mean like ADR?
Yeah,
Because most of Tommy's lines were unusable, and they had to dub
yeah.
everything in post, which is not unusual. But Tommy is also a terrible actor and can barely say his lines on the first go round, let alone do them in ADR.
Oh, that's a pillow fight right there.
Look at this little creep.
Other than Tommy Wiseau, this guy is the oldest person in this movie, and they cast him as a kid.
But
He
you can
does
tell his
look like a
hairline's
kid.
fucking way back there.
I mean, I mean,
I like to watch you guys fuck.
he does look he does look like one of the Coreys from the '80s, especially with that hair. It's such '80s kid hair, isn't
It
it?
is.
Five minutes into the film.
Can't believe you would say this is competently shot, Ben. This is
Compared to the other movies we've watched.
this isn't even competently shot compared to Silk Stockings.
This
like-
is like the old Showtime movies in the 90s.
Exactly.
I mean, like compared to Boldly Flee, this is actually like. Come on, Neil.
That's not even a good comparison. Because you're comparing like someone's like what is basically a home movie, which is To Boldly Flee, to this, and this is barely above that.
What's with this music?
I don't know.
It's the best music.
You want to talk about cheap fuck? Tommy Wiseau would not put anything into this movie that he had to license, so this is probably like public domain. And by the way, Tommy Wiseau makes Linkara look like a fiscal hawk, because this movie cost $6 million to produce. And it's because he invested so much in the fucking camera equipment. He had 3 different crews at 3 different times because they kept quitting on him. I mean, this is so much worse than Linkara's movie.
Well, this movie is pretty much whatchamacallit, a middle-aged man's fucking
Vanity Project?
It is.
yeah.
And he's a fucking child about it, too, because the whole premise of this movie is that he's innocent and everyone else is evil and out to get him.
Well, it's based on a true story that actually happened to him.
Really?
It's exaggerated, but this actually
Oh
happened.
no, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see Tommy Wiseau's ass.
He's fucking her belly button. Look at it.
He's not even close. And by the way, that's not the last time you're going to see that. And this character, they had to go through a few different girls to get one that like wouldn't be repulsed by him. It's like nobody really knows where Tommy Wiseau got his money, because he sunk so much money into this movie and into that infamous billboard sign that was up for years. The one where he looks punch drunk and
Stoned.
stoned. Yeah.
The one that was the movie poster.
Yeah, it's like the worst picture of him ever. Oh.
Sorry.
Ugh.
Yeah, just leave the thorns right there. No wonder she leaves you.
Jesus Christ.
Their dialogue, man, is so fucking.
That's because this guy. I heard someone describe this movie as being the type of movie a Martian might make if he visited Earth for like a weekend. And that's kind of on point. Because all of the dialogue in this movie is stilted and awkward. And anyone who tried to ad lib to make it make more sense, Tommy would go, "Cut, no! Read what's on the page! Say the lines correctly!"
Have you ever like dubbed anything or like went in a play?
I've been
Because
in a play.
you sit around a table and you read your lines,
Exactly.
and it's literally how it sounds in this movie. They're not acting; they're just reading the lines and getting used to them. These two crack me right up.
Oh, and it gets better later. This woman delivers one of the worst lines in the most nonchalant way. This poor old woman, she wanted to be an actress all her life, and her first big break was this movie.
This is her.
Yeah.
Very soon.
One of the things is she's like, "Oh, I hate Tommy. He's boring,
Mhm.
but he's such a great guy. He gives to charity and blah." Blah.
I know. It's like he just pieced together things that he heard other people say and didn't consult anyone else after writing the script. Again, it's like someone who doesn't understand human behavior just kind of pieced together dialogue that he heard out of the mouths of other people and like didn't understand context, didn't understand cohesion. It's like,
So you're saying basically Tom Wiseau is like George Lucas.
somewhat.
His wig is so bad it fucking cracks me up every time. It gets worse too. Like this is the best shot of the wig in the movie.
But then you're going to betray Tommy.
I mean, the establishing shots are all right, but these are the shots that Tommy had the least to do with.
I want to see Lombard Street.
And if you hear the audiobook, you hear this guy do a perfect impersonation, Tommy Wiseau.
You seem to do a pretty good Tommy as
I'm
well.
kind of mimicking him.
You know, they both recently were in a movie together.
Really?
Again, yeah.
Samurai Cop 2?
I wish. It's a movie where they're both like undertakers stealing like silver and gold filaments from dead bodies to make money.
Really?
Yes. People are actually saying it's a great movie.
Wow.
Like there's actually like good reviews for this movie. But he is in Samurai Cop 2. You are right about that.
What's going on? You obviously know what's going on, buddy.
In the room.
Don't like Johnny, but he's so wonderful.
Exactly.
My favorite actor still isn't in this yet.
Oh, here we go again. It's going to be another movie where it's just a long haul. This is not going to be fun.
Well, the good news is
I
only
don't know about
it's
you,
less
but
than
I'm having
100.
fun.
It's less than 100 minutes long, Neil.
Mm.
To me, this movie's a train wreck. I can't stop watching it.
This fucking music.
Well, this is fucking music.
It
Neil.
is.
This
This
is
is-
straight from a porn.
This is literally fucking music.
So Sestero met Tommy Wiseau in acting class, and he was doing A Streetcar Named Desire, and I don't even have to tell you what scene it was. Just think of the worst possible scene that Tommy Wiseau could be doing, and it's that scene.
The most quoted scene from that
Yep.
movie.
And imagine Tommy Wiseau doing it, a guy who does not understand drama. I do have to admit they got a pretty cute girl for this.
The fucking ADR groaning, man.
Now do it harder and louder.
Faster and more intense. Yeah, it's just weird what Tommy would and wouldn't spend money on. He's willing to have a 2-camera rig that just wasted tons and tons of money, but like he won't spend anything on licensing music. He won't like pay the crew extra for overtime or buy them dinner or anything. He pinches pennies on the stupidest things. But he's like, we're gonna have 2 cameras, first movie ever that does this. This is so awful.
Fucking wig.
I can't hurt Johnny right after he porked her. He made sure to shoot off at her like before he decided to have a moment of consciousness.
He could have pulled out.
That's not the point, Ben.
The best scene.
I think this was the last scene shot.
My favorite scene.
Also, one of the few ad libs that Tommy did in the movie. Hi, doggy. That's his only ad lib.
You're my best customer.
Apparently, he tripped out on that dog, and he's like, "Is that a real dog?"
Yeah, he wasn't sure if the dog was real or not, and the store owner was just—that's the real store owner, by the way, in that shot. She was like, "Yeah, my dog is real." Candy grab. This kid is so creepy.
That's such an awkward thing, like a 17-year-old kid would do. Like, no, I don't want to kiss you at all. But if she said yes, he'd be like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah, let's have another foreign music session.
This is ADR. Notice the intensity.
They're crazy.
The intensity in his voice does not match the video.
His lip syncing is way off.
And I am the fool.
Another sex scene.
So what is that? Is that ginger ale or scotch?
I don't know.
And then it's Smirnoff. He doesn't drink alcohol. What a
So
good guy.
remember this line for later on the show, in the
That's
movie,
fine.
that he doesn't drink when he's clearly drinking later on.
It tastes good. What she got tied around her forehead?
His tie.
Is that his
Yeah.
tie? Is that to show she's drunk?
Did he drop the glass?
Yeah.
It's not even a half hour in, and we're already into our third love scene here.
Yep.
This is just like the late night softcore porn they used to show in the mid '90s on Cinemax.
This looks oddly familiar.
Are you implying that they just using like alternate shots from the first sex scene?
No, not
again?
alternate shots. The same shots.
The same shot.
He really thought that nobody would notice. Oh, I just cut it differently. No one noticed. Jesus Christ, this poor woman. Oh, she only had to shoot this once, so
There's the belly button again.
she is a serious innie.
I don't know what the heck he's flexing, but it's bothering. like there's this muscle on his butt that's like doing things.
It's Full House. A Tanner.
Oh no.
Fuller House. They built an extension for a room.
This petty conversation that has nothing to do with anything in this movie. It's nothing serious, it's just cancer.
Yeah.
I'll walk it off. I'll get
Yeah.
over it.
Well, they don't ever bring it up
Yeah.
again, so.
Just drink a little more vitamin C, that's all.
But you know, Tommy's a really great guy.
Yes. He's so great, he just had the cancer taken right out of me.
If he hit you, he could slap the cancer right out of you. What's funny is that the way all these characters act in the movie, how they mistreat Johnny, is exactly how Tommy acted toward the crew of this movie. Like, he had a different guy cast for the Mark character, and he didn't want to tell him that they had cast Greg instead. So basically, he kept trying to find a pretense to fire him when all he had to do was say, "You know what? We found someone else." It's like Tommy is this drama machine. He has no problem irritating everyone on set, but for some reason he's too apprehensive about firing one person on set. And why do these people just walk in? Who are these people?
This is the best actor in the entire movie.
He looks like the guy from Star Trek Continues.
Oh my god, yeah. Vic Mignogna, or, yeah.
Yes.
Who was also, the lead. No,
Ed
he was
Elric.
also the lead in, the ADV version of Macross. But that's not him, obviously. Just so people at home aren't getting confused.
But he looks like...
he does look much like him.
Yes. See, Red was telling me he can't take Star Trek Continues seriously because Vic is like 5'3" and Shatner's like 6 foot.
Here's the best part. Look at his face. This is acting classes.
Now, I don't remember if I saw this movie on Cinemax or if it's... yeah, that. Or if I just remember it as though I saw it on Cinemax because it's like every other movie in the 90s that aired after midnight. I want to say that somehow this wound up on Cinemax in the early 2000s. Before it took off. Because I remember watching it a lot and being like, what the hell is this? And I was mesmerized. Because
it wasn't in the 90s. It was made
well,
in
that's what I'm
2003.
saying. It reminds me of all the movies in the 90s, but it has that quality. But I want to say that in the early 2000s, like 2002, 2003, this was on Cinemax after midnight. The most logical person in this movie.
What is he baking a fucking cake?
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are not dreaming. You've seen this scene before. She's like a pro wrestler. She's super evil around her own faction. Look at this fucking clown.
Actually, she reminds me of the lady that played Vic McMahon's wife in one of those storylines.
Linda McMahon?
Yeah. Was that
Yeah.
really her? Because I thought it was just an actress.
She's on the Trump team now. She works for Trump.
That's fucking awesome. All I remember about the storyline was she was like in a coma and Vince used that to like get control of the company and stuff
Yeah.
happened. Here we go.
This is a reshoot of this scene.
I fucking love
Yeah.
that shed.
This is a reshoot because they actually shot this on a set that had a basketball hoop, but for some reason Tommy was like, "No, we reshoot it on the roof," and they had to rebuild this roof set like 3 or 4 times because Tommy kept wanting to shoot scenes up there. They're like, Tommy, why don't we just use a real roof? No, we build set.
It's an awful set too because it's a green screen with a still image.
Yes.
So it just looks like it's painted background.
And also, whenever they had to do a reverse shot, they had to rebuild it. So this is one of the most impractical sets ever. It's clearly just an aluminum shed. Why is everyone up here?
Look at when they go downstairs.
Where are the stairs? So people just go in there and disappear.
It shows them going downstairs, but they go downstairs off the building.
There is no drama to the scene at all.
The scene doesn't matter.
Because it's never set up and it never comes up again. And Tommy Wiseau's logic is that drugs are so bad that he had to cover it in the movies for some reason. It's like, it's a big problem in society. It adds drama. But the funny thing is, if Tommy Wiseau actually took people's advice on this movie, this would not be as fun to watch as it is today. Because all the advice he was given was logical, and he resisted every bit of it.
Yes.
It's like, these two scenes don't connect, Tommy. We should do something about that. No.
Everything good at the end. It come together.
I've known people like this who are just impervious to logic, and like, they just, if it's not their idea, they won't change, even if it doesn't make sense.
Because they have a plan.
It's like one of the 3 camera operators who worked on this movie came to the conclusion that the only way to convince Tommy of anything is to trick him into thinking it was his idea.
Yep. It did not.
What? No.
They're so green, man.
It's like Mars Girl in front of the doorway of the spaceship.
Yes.
By the way, I've seen a picture of her lately. She looks a lot better than she did in that movie. I don't know what the hell happened to her in that movie. It's like Linkara must have loaded her.
She was stuck like a bee.
Linkara must have like loaded her up with chicken tenders or something. It's like she de-aged. She looks a lot better now. Oh, the water bottle he threw down a moment ago, he had to tear the wrapper off it because he's so afraid of having to pay someone money
Thanks, dude.
to have a logo in the movie that no one would have seen anyway. And Greg doesn't reveal how much he was paid for this movie in the book, but apparently it was a lot of money. Enough that he never once tried to quit. Chris's logic was, well, no one's going to see this movie.
Yeah.
Fucking love this conversation.
Tommy wrote this not realizing how creepy this conversation is.
There's actually continuity to this because he lets him watch. Remember those words. He trusts Lisa.
Yes, it is.
But just a moment ago, he was calling her a liar.
Like she suddenly becomes a pro wrestler villain for no reason.
Watch the continuity with the drink in her hand.
Watch your arm.
Oh my goodness, that's horrible.
See, she went for the drink and it doesn't move. God, that's bad. Also, the only reason why Tommy was able to hire 3 different crews is because even though he would just badger people until they would quit, he had an easy time hiring people because they were able to get experience with a high def camera, which in 2000 was kind of rare.
It's like he's not even taking part in any conversation.
Spoons. I forget what they said this set was. It was some kind of like display for housing. It was meant to look unlived in, so they initially there was just nothing in this room, so they had to really hurry and go out and get picture frames, and they got pictures of spoons, and Tommy would not let them change the pictures.
I love it.
Also, one of the very few times Tommy listened to criticism was he actually had that line wrong. It was a reference to Rebel Without a Cause, but he wrote it as "You are taking me apart." And someone pulled him aside and said, "You got the line wrong. The line from Rebel Without a Cause is you're tearing me apart." And he's like, "Oh, okay," because Tommy really loves James Dean, so he wanted to get the line right.
You teared me apart, Lisa.
I love that's the only circumstance under which he was willing to take criticism.
Fucking clowns back. This is like somebody they hired off the street or something, man. Why is he even telling
This is a
him this?
long setup for... Is this going anywhere?
No.
See, it sounded like a pretense for him to say, "Oh, I overheard something," but no, he never goes anywhere with it. For some reason,
Just his underwear.
I need to tell you about how I left my underwear at your apartment. Nobody would ever do that. In fact, most men would be like, "Gross. Shut up." Who just tosses a ball like this? I don't get it. Oh, I know what scene this is. This is the injury scene.
Overreact much?
Well, it's in the script that somehow he got knocked over and got injured. Does it serve the plot at all? No. Did they ever plan on how it was supposed to happen? No. There he goes off to the hospital for some reason.
It looks like when you play kiddie football and somebody fakes getting
Yeah.
injured.
Yep.
The breast cancer.
This is the fourth conversation
About how great Johnny is.
Doesn't the mother make a heel turn
I don't
sometime?
know. This movie makes Plan 9 look like Shakespeare.
As if they didn't see him standing there.
And they did tell him, they're like, Tommy, there's only like 8 feet between you and the women. They would see you. And to this day, Tommy Wiseau is very defensive about the scene. He's like, oh, I record telephone conversations like this all the time. It totally works. With a tape player that is not rigged to start recording when the phone rings, nor is it possible to hook it up to the receiver in this way.
Where is he hiding it?
I don't know. And this character disappears at one point in the movie. Because they
This is a psychiatrist, isn't it?
they lose access to this actor and they replace him with a different character. There's another character that appears late in the movie spontaneously.
Yeah, he has that friend that just comes from nowhere.
And Tommy wastes all this time reshooting all these other scenes that didn't need to be reshot, nor were they pivotal to the plot of the movie. But he never thinks to reshoot any of the scenes with the psychiatrist using a different actor. It's just baffling how none of these really obvious ideas never occur to him.
I know this actor.
You know him.
I don't know him, but I've seen him in other things.
Well, that's always possible.
I think he actually was in like one of those like B movies. I like a Samurai Cop 2 or something like that.
Well, I believe that's why they couldn't get him, is because he was due on a different set.
Like I could be wrong, but I think he like plays like a bad guy in like one of those really low budget movies.
This guy in his fucking Wayne Gretzky wig, man.
And if you've seen his natural hair color, he doesn't look that different.
Like, this is shot so much like a porn. I'm expecting these guys to just start making out at any minute.
There must be a porn parody of this movie.
There is.
There's several, I'm pretty sure.
And if there is, there has to be a male-on-male sex scene at the end. Because it would only make sense if that happened.
Cheep, 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 cheep.
Has anybody in this room even seen a chicken?
Pretty sure everyone except Tommy. Well, we've been kind of riffing on this scene. We haven't been paying much attention to the psychologist here. He's one of the... Greg said he's one of the most wildly inconsistent characters in the movie. It's like nothing he says makes sense. Jesus Christ, Denny's back.
So creepy, man.
And the fact that Denny is so sketchy is not entirely accidental. I mean, the first scene we see him in, he starts like mowing down on an apple. And the reason he's eating an apple is because Tommy thought it was a very sexual thing to be doing. And I'm like, what? Why? Now, why is he up here?
He's all relaxed. Look at his hair.
They love this set.
Doesn't even bother with the CGI smoke.
Don't stand up. The green screen just washes them right out.
I know. Wow. Fuck.
Like, usually you put counter lights so nobody turns green.
or like the edges of their body like melt into the
Right.
background.
People don't act like this when they're under the effects of marijuana.
That marijuana makes it so
Yeah.
violent.
I'm sorry, I just got the munchies for chicken tenders there for a minute. I don't know what came over me.
Wow.
That green
I
screen.
can't stop looking at it.
I know it's like moving when he's not.
Because it's a still image. So it looks like it's painted.
I mean, I've seen matte paintings more convincing than that.
If you're going to spend the money on a green screen effect, you at least put a moving image behind it. That's not even the same neighborhood.
The teleporting roof.
That roof violates the laws of time and space.
Yes.
And if I remember correctly, one of the last scenes in the movie takes place on the roof and it grows in size.
Yes, it's like the TARDIS.
What is it with this fucking football?
Yay! They're playing catch.
Remember last time they were playing in an alley
Yeah.
set? Now they got an actual
Yep.
alley.
And again, they asked him about that. Jesus Christ.
Oh no! He tripped.
What a fucking creep.
They asked him about that. It's like we have an alley outside. Why are we building an alley set? And of course, Tommy is just immune to logic.
Set better.
What was the point of that?
To show he was on the move.
It's like they had to show him walking through Naboo, and then we're back at a coffee shop.
There are major continuity errors in this scene as well. Look, he's leaning back to be out of the shot, but they still got him in the shot.
Yep.
I love how vague they are about what Tommy does in this movie for a living.
He does something for the bank. He brings them so much money as for promotion.
He's a successful banker who couldn't cash a check.
Well, Johnny's my best friend. We can't do this. We can't. Blah, 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 blah.
It was only like the 12th time. The 13th time I really won't.
Okay, this is the last time I'm gonna bone you. Okay. We can't do this anymore.
Was that one of you guys, or was that the the AV?
What?
I heard like
Oh, that was them.
Okay, I was like, what?
If you've noticed in the AV for all the sex scenes, there's groaning and moaning that makes no sense. It's literally somebody making out with their hand.
Chris Chan. Young lady.
See, you can hear them kissing, but they're not kissing.
See, I feel that the world owes Ed Wood an apology.
Ed Wood
He did
tried his hardest. I mean, the biggest problem he had was budget and time. And to be fair, I mean, he got the shots he needed to construct the movie. He might have wanted to make a couple extra takes, but no, he got the shots that, like, he made cohesive movies.
At least he knows where to put it, unlike Tommy.
And Ed Wood made better pornos than Tommy.
That's true. Now shower her with gold.
I mean, if you're going to hold us captive for 3 minutes watching this goddamn love scene, show us something. Show us a nipple.
Well, they showed us lots of her nipples earlier. It's just she has weird nipples.
She signed up for only one nude scene.
And they looped it, so she got upset when they were...
When she had sex 5 times in the movie. At current count.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't get the football.
Well, they felt like they had to have something physical that they had, like something physical that two guys could do that's not having sex.
Yeah. Really, it would be less awkward if they were having sex. Because I don't know anyone.
Pick an activity that films well with having a conversation with two guys.
I don't know anyone who just tosses a ball back and forth, standing 5 feet apart.
Well, like I said, I mean, bowling won't work. The alley would be too loud. Golf doesn't work for these people.
Tommy is supposed to be like 30 years old in this movie, but he moves like a dad.
Well, he's pretty old in this movie. He won't tell anyone his age, and he looks pretty old today. He looks like he's turning into Peter Lorre. Ready for what? Jesus Christ.
We just came off a sex scene. But no, there has to be more sex.
It shows emotion. They are passionate. If this is Tommy, I'm gonna fall over laughing. Who needs to knock on his own door?
Notice that nobody's ever knocked before. Like, even when she snuck in with her boyfriend, she just walked in.
Examine your zipper.
It smells like sex in here.
Smells like the holodeck. Sorry, that was a joke Brad and I have been making it for a while.
Well, I think everyone would use the holodeck for that.
I'd hate to be the guy who had to clean the holodeck.
Take control, number one. I'm going to the holodeck. Oh, boy.
Yeah, it's probably Barkley who has to clean the holodeck.
And what's her name? The one on the bridge who can sense everyone's feelings. She just kind of tries to tune it out.
Yes.
Counselor Troy, what do you sense from the captain? You don't want to know.
She has the problem with her face is she has these eyebrows and this nose, and it's like the eyebrows are not killer and the nose is not killer, but them together destroys her face.
I don't know. I think she has I think she has a cute face. I mean, she's
her
not
eyebrows.
Glamorous, but she's all right. The only thing about her eyebrows that are weird is that it reveals that is not her hair color.
She looks like the bully girl from that one Nick cartoon.
Oh my God, I know what you're talking about. Hey Arnold.
Yes.
Helga?
Yes.
Don't make me think of Helga.
Look at her.
She doesn't look like Helga.
Well, the heavy eyebrows
in
I
her
can
nose.
see.
Helga had a unibrow.
Yeah, she did. Come on, kiss. Kiss! We need another love scene. Come on. Come on. No!
And we're back to Suicide Bridge. There's a documentary about this bridge. Really sad.
Another non-gay jogging scene.
Like I said, pick an activity that two guys can do that's not sex, where they can have a conversation that's not loud.
Now we're chilling out and playing video games.
Okay, you win.
Tommy would be mortified of having any sound in the movie that he'd have to pay for. So it'd be the Pac-Man sound effect from Atari 2600. Because everyone uses that because that game is not copyrighted, so they could use the audio. That's why you hear it in lots of cheesy things like old cartoons and shit. You'll hear the Atari sound effects.
You have to show every famous location in San Francisco.
Didn't show Lombard Street yet.
Yeah, they did in the beginning.
I don't think I saw it. Yeah, see her eyebrows.
And also another reason I'm kind of defensive of her is that there was a girl I had a thing for at one time who really looked like her.
Okay.
The mother made a heel turn. So she doesn't want to be with Tommy, but she's gonna marry him.
Yes.
Finally, truth in this movie.
The scenes that don't have Tommy in them, they're actually kind of acted out well. I'm saying they're B or C, they're passable.
Oh, the Disney store. They're going to sue.
Oh my god. I'm surprised that made it through. He probably just didn't notice that. Because he's neurotic about that. He's like, oh no, we can't have logo in the movie.
In Soviet Russia, movie had logo in you.
Wait a minute, this song was technically copyright at the time of this movie. And it's one of the most notoriously expensive songs.
I know.
So he tears the label off a water bottle, but he lets that song through. And I bet that's not credited in the end credits. I'm willing to bet he didn't pay for it.
I bet you he doesn't even know about that.
Because everyone just assumed that song was public domain. That's actually why I slipped it into Decian, the last chapter, is because that court case came through where they said, yes, it's absolutely public domain now, so I put it in there as like a big fuck you to Warner Chappell.
Yes.
Fuck you guys. He looks so strange.
Fucking clown.
Yeah, that's suggestive. Yeah, this generic music is just killing us.
She said, let's go outside, and then she doesn't follow them. So they're all out there like, okay, now what?
What am I looking at? Is that what I'm supposed to be looking at? That thing over here?
All right, everybody, drinks on the house. Now they're all up on the roof.
Oh. That's a Muppet
Yes,
movie, Jim.
yes, it is. I do think that's where they end up. They go up on the roof.
Oh, yeah, it was. Is this the guy taking the place of the
Yeah.
psychiatrist?
Hello, person we've never met before.
In your pocket.
They fought so hard over that line. It's like, Tommy, this line makes no fucking sense.
Who the fuck are you?
What did they think they were going to do if this guy didn't walk in? They were just going to start having sex right there when everyone's right outside the door?
Yes.
She tricked him.
She could have at least locked the door. See, this is the rooftop set, or one of the many rooftop sets. Yeah, it's
It's
larger,
larger.
now. When was this established?
What the fuck is that guy
Why
doing?
is he here?
Oh, this is. Oh.
Why does she suddenly look like Courtney Love?
Suddenly. Don't worry, I know where to get a baby from. Mark, get over here.
What friendship? Who the fuck are you?
Where did you come from?
What I love is they're using classical music now. This is Intermezzo by Mozart.
Well, that's public domain, too. Although
It is.
the recording might not be.
The recording isn't.
But Tommy probably... Actually, no, I was going to say something logical. Tommy wouldn't assume that. But a normal person might assume that there's no way anyone would catch that. Especially if it's really low in the mix.
Yeah, you have to know exactly which
Yeah.
orchestra.
The worst fighting scene ever.
I'll sucker punch him.
Your stupid comments in your pocket, Tommy.
Why is his sleeve fucked up like that?
Because he was just in a fight. Can't you tell, Neil?
Yeah.
Yes. People's sleeves always become like that after a fight.
I'm surprised that establishing shot was in motion.
They're just making out in front
I know,
of
what the
everybody.
hell? Well, it's not a secret anymore.
Well, everyone in this room knows except for Tommy. Except for... Uh-oh.
Oh, hi,
Except for
Johnny.
Johnny.
We were just making out. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Okay, you have them get into a fight, then you break it up, and then you have him catch them in the act. Condense these two scenes.
See, they could have just had this as part of the other fight scene versus having
Yeah.
two fight scenes. Uh,
The worst taunting ever.
I love that line.
Put up with this world. Disney store again.
Does he live at the Disney store?
Maybe above it.
It's like we've seen that establishing shot a few different times. I'm really having a hard time telling what's what. Like, what are we supposed to be looking at? I'm gonna go take my cancer pills. She's gonna go take.
Oh yeah, I have cancer.
She's gonna
again.
go take some aspirin for her cancer.
Uh-oh.
Some Bayer will do the trick.
Well, and the bear.
Talk about the drugs.
I know. Oh. You bitch.
Now, I do believe this is a room we've never seen before because this was after they had torn down the set for the rest of the apartment.
Is it a room or the room?
That's a mystery. It's like the Phantom Menace. It's like, what is the title referring to? Which room? Because it's not really a room, it's his apartment.
Is he standing? Is he sitting? Is it the bathroom or a hallway?
I don't know. That on the other side of the door, that didn't look like the room he was in.
Nope. Could be a linen closet.
So he went downstairs and got that tape in like 2 seconds.
See, now, here's one of the biggest plot holes in the movie is like, not only is this recording different than what they just said, but he's having to prove to her that he knows that they're cheating, even though he just caught them.
This is a conversation that they had in the movie, but he wasn't recording it. This is before.
Yeah, I don't know what scene it was, but there is a scene in the script where Lisa here is talking to her mother on the phone, and at some point, Tommy forgets, and the scene ends with her walking her mother to the door. And when they went to shoot the scene, they had to explain it to Tommy what the problem was. Look, either she's on the phone or she's in the room. Pick one.
You've never heard of cell phones before? They're the newest thing.
Well, technically, they were the newest thing when this was coming out. I mean, they had like flip phones. They didn't really have like.
They had flip phones with a green LCD, if I remember.
Yes, I had one that had the Snake game on it. It was a Nokia. It was practically bulletproof. Is this the part where he turns into a werewolf? Yes, that's how I was about to go.
Just weekly starts throwing things
I
around.
love how calmly he just starts tearing the apartment apart.
Uh-oh.
Today's digital age, I kind of weep every time I see a CRT get destroyed. Kitty Hawk would have wept with me.
Yes.
She understands.
Yes.
If she had sat in that bed like 20 times, wonder be stains. Just saying.
That bed would just reek of sex. Smell like onions in a dirty shoe.
Oh.
Oh, I remember this. Do 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 do.
As going goes.
Wake up.
Get him a body bag, Johnny.
Wake up. You just have a hole in the back of your head. Everything will be fine.
Oh my god, it's Bud Dwyer.
Oh, Deal. I love your topical humor.
And
he was my best
the
friend.
homoeroticism continues.
Wait, the best part's about to happen.
The next sex scene happens. His body isn't even cold yet.
Let's have sex right on top of him.
Our Lord and Savior is dead because of you. He was the perfect being.
How do you know? Are you a doctor?
But I loved him. Just have a three-way right there.
Leave us. I'm just a creepy kid who lives downstairs. Get the fuck out of here.
Come on, let's have a threesome right now. You could be Laura Flynn Boyle.
He has a new hole. And
This
that's
movie should have ended like The Sopranos.
Where it just cuts to black.
Pretty
Yes.
much.
But the perfect person, the one who was friends with everybody,
Mm.
the one who, when I was waiting to help everybody, is the one who suffered the most.
Who called the ambulance?
Ambulances just show up when people die.
I think it's just the police. The police are responding to the sound of a gunshot 20 minutes later.
Hmm. I see what you did there.
What, state of fact?
Thank God Almighty it's over.
Oh, God.
Oh boy.
So, yes.
So, yeah.
That was the room.
And Tommy Wiseau never once revealed where he got the money to make this movie. He kept referring to two producers that he answers to. He's like, producers want this, producers want that, but he never said who they were. And in the movie, he credits three producers, one being him and two other people, one of which is dead and one of which had nothing to do with the movie. So it's like, and the dead person he also credits as the casting director. So in the book, Greg Sestero says that it was the busiest dead person in Hollywood.
Well, all right.
Yeah, that was something. All right, like, comment, subscribe. Check out the Patreon, patreon.com/Mr. Neil. For $2 a month, you get bonus commentaries, both movies and stuff on Netflix, and stuff out of my own DVD collection. So check it out, and I'll see you next week.